everyone, and welcome to another round of questions and answers with Mamas Uncut, where you send in your questions about parenting, motherhood, relationships, and we give you the best advice we possibly can. And don't worry, all of the questions that you send in always remain anonymous. So again, we're welcoming back Lisa and Mindy. You guys ready to answer some questions?
Absolutely.
All right, let's get to it. My boyfriend told me he doesn't want any more kids. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 6 years. We have a 4-year-old together, and I've always told him I wanted a big family. I used to joke around saying that I want 8 kids, but have mentioned to him that I would be fine with at least one more. Well, today, after mentioning having another baby, he dropped the bomb on me, implying that he doesn't want any more kids. I just feel lost because all I've ever wanted was to be a mom and give my daughter siblings, just because I grew up with siblings. But now I feel like I'm wasting my time here. What should I do?
Okay. The closing sentence is a big deal. And the fact that she wrote that, I think she has her answer.
Yeah.
Right? To it's a rhetorical question on some level, but to ask, am I wasting my time? For that to pop in your head, she probably has her answer.
Yeah.
And, it's very difficult because you don't want to break up a family. And maybe, maybe he comes around to it, or there's a conversation that's like, hey, I really need us to have another baby, and alternatively, she can, now that she knows where he's coming from, is it a deal breaker for her to have a single, have an only child?
Mm-hmm.
For me, it wouldn't necessarily be, but I totally get it. For a lot of parents, it is. Totally get it.
I'm just impressed that she thought she wanted 8 children. Woo, that sounds exhausting. I think that I picked up on the word she said he implied that he didn't want children. I think that this means it was more of a casual conversation rather than a sit down and let's talk about what we actually want in our future and be straight with each other conversation. So I would say that's in order. I really liked what you said, Lisa, and agree that she needs to think, is this an actual deal breaker for me? Because I know people get wrapped up a lot in what their image of the future is supposed to be. And I really wanted my child to have siblings. I really wanted this. I imagined my life being like this, and that's not how life goes. They could try for another child and maybe not be successful. So I think that's a not dangerous way of thinking, but kind of an idealistic way of thinking, that you can map out your future like that, because that's not often how life goes. And I think that they need to be clear on what they really do want. Maybe there's other options if he doesn't want to have her be pregnant again. Maybe in the future they could talk about adoption. Maybe they could get really close with cousins and try to spend a lot of time with their family if she wants her child to be around other children or friends that are really close. So there's other ways to, I think, make a family unit outside of the let's have another child, or we need to have another child, and I understand that longing. We had infertility problems at the beginning of our marriage. And I think that's why I look at having children in a different way, because we had our daughter first. And I thought this could be my only child. And I am just going to be so grateful and happy that we have a child. And I was able to have 2 more, but I think that it just changes the way you look at things. So that's the perspective I'm coming at it from. I don't think that a family has to be exactly how you imagined it in your mind.
Totally agree. And I think there's a big, she's got a family right now that it sounds like she loves, with her daughter and with her boyfriend, and to break that up, or to force to put an ultimatum on him of, we're having a kid or I'm breaking up our family. And that's a very, very big ultimatum to deliver to anybody, because is breaking up your family now more detrimental to your daughter who is here, who's alive, who you love, who is, who he loves? Is it a bigger deal to break it up, or to deal with the disappointment that you may not be having more kids?
Yeah. And it's okay to grieve that. And it's okay to feel sad about the fact that you're not going to bear any more children. And that's fine. I think that just a little zooming out maybe would be good. Because I like what you're saying, Lisa. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I think there's a common theme with all these questions we've covered today, and a lot of it is communication. Because the thing that stuck up to me more is, he implied. Well, it sounds like you're basing a lot of this information off of you saying like, hey, let's have another kid. And he's like, oh, maybe not right now. And then you're like, my entire life is imploding.
Yeah. Or maybe said, I don't want that. And does that mean you don't want it right now, or you're not ready for another child? Because if it's not a yes from both parties saying they're ready for a child, you don't want it. Just believe me.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So I think, there just needs to be like a really serious conversation around it. And you not saying like, he could be taking these 8 kid jokes, to heart. Like 8 kids really isn't what I want my life to be. 2 with. So like, let's have a serious conversation about that. Yeah. So it sounds like, like a real serious conversation hasn't happened yet. And that's, kind of what needs to take place before you're like, am I making the biggest mistake, or am I wasting my time? All right, guys. Well, don't forget to send us your questions, and remember, they always stay anonymous. Bye.